Welcome back, everybody. This is Richard Kuhns, author of How to Get Your Life Back from Morgellons, Chronic Lyme, and Other Skin Parasites. And we're going into our stress management portion of the program, along with Robin, my co-host, and Mary, our greeting coach, who starts the program off every Sunday afternoon. And we're going to talk about the impact of stress and having these organisms. Today is what, March 6th, is it?
Yes.
2024. Okay. So we have a couple of people that are going to share how stress has impacted their lives. And then we're going to do a stress management technique that you can use throughout the day to help bring things down. Because, you know, when you're stressed out, your creativity is kind of not existent, and it helps to be creative. In our last segment, Q&A, we had a lady share how she uses creativity to help her deal with these organisms and make progress in getting her life back, which is what this is all about. Okay, who would like to share first, Chris?
During all this, I don't think I've been this stressed as I have been in the last week. Number one, it's so hard because if you have no one to talk to, like Maria, about the whole circumstance. And I have been doing the deep breathing. And yes, it does help. And the tapping as well. But I'm still not well. I mean, it's really hard. That's all I can say.
It is a challenge. And just think, if you weren't doing the deep breathing and the tapping, what are the alternatives?
I don't know. Depression.
We're trying to keep our head, in a sense, we're trying to keep our head above water with these techniques, and hopefully when we get the diet to kick in and get things going, and then we get more creative and get on the faster track to recovery.
Mm-hmm. It's very important to try. I mean, it's absolutely, you can't function when you're just bad off. It's just not. And then you look around, I got to clean. Well, you don't even have the energy. But keep at it.
Is your thinking clear? Is your thinking clear?
No. It's horrible. Horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm amazed how bad, actually. So, but you did it. You both did it. It's possible.
It's possible. That's why Robin and I and Mary are here, is to let you know that we did it, you did it. And gosh, if you've been in this program or been on these calls, you've heard dozens and dozens of people share. In fact, we even have testimonial tapes where we've cut out the excerpts of people who have claimed their life back through using this program, that are available for inspiration. We're here to inspire because we know it's rough and we know it's possible.
Yeah. Thank you. I listened to last week's show on lesions, and I literally yesterday, I couldn't remember what you said. I try and write down, and I'm on ivermectin for, possible, what do they give ivermectin? Now I can't see, I'm not with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder
with
what
ivermectin, it can cause liver damage.
Well, we don't recommend ivermectin for long periods of time. If you go on the site shop4morgellons.com using the number 4 instead of spelling it out, they give you the recommendations on how often and how long you should use it, and you don't want to use it all the time.
Oh, great! It was for scabies. That's what I thought I had. But interesting. Thank you.
Welcome. Mm-hmm. Keep coming back. We're here for you. Our thoughts are with every one of you. Okay.
Maria, you can go next, Maria.
Maria?
Okay. One of the things that I rely on most strongly, it's always a part of every relaxation effort that I make is deep breathing. It starts me off. It gets my brain organized when I'm just, walking around the apartment with nothing but anxiety in my head. I don't hold an idea for more than a few seconds, and then I get sick of myself and start trying to take charge. And taking charge, I start with the deep breathing, with sitting down, a lot of times by a window or walking outside, where I sit right next door to Fort Sam Houston's chain link fence, and they have a bunch of trees and buildings that they don't use, big, huge 3- and 4-story buildings. But the raccoons and the possums use those buildings day and night and go up the outside stairs, and the squirrels, and I feed my food scraps to those animals, and I have a relationship, especially with one squirrel who responds to me, and if I show up outside, he'll show up in a tree that's close to one of my windows. And so I quit thinking about all the stupid stuff and getting rattled about all my unsolvable problems, and I start relating to Squirrely and talking to him. And he comes to the front of my apartment and will sit there and look in my kitchen window. And I know that I have a relationship with this character. He's a gift to me. A gift from above, you might say. Well, the landlord wouldn't like that because he thinks, yes, he goes in the attic and choose wires. But Squirrely is valuable to me, and then he plays games in the parking lot, and I get involved in his activities, and it relaxes me. It makes me happy. I grew up around squirrels in oak trees in Florida, and I learned what animals can give, and they give a lot without even trying. And now that I have learned to depend on them for some give and take, and it's always pleasant, I do better. I can get myself centered and know what I want to do and make a schedule for the day or whatever I need to do. But I have to appreciate nature in that. One day, there were 25 buzzards on top of a building. You think it's not valuable to notice these things that go around in your near environment. It is very valuable. So I noticed those 25 buzzards, and they came right before Texas got hit by a terrible cold spell that knocked out our electricity throughout the state, cut off people's electricity, and we had to sleep in freezing temperatures. But, focusing on these externals has helped a lot. They're very powerful once they gang up on you. The temperatures go down to the 20s. We don't have that usually, and we suffer when we have it. We moan and groan and think we're going to die.
Marie,
so weather's important.
Marie,
and, yeah.
I want to thank you so much for sharing that. It's so valuable. What you're sharing is exactly what the technique that we're going to be doing today, and that is kind of like an external focus. There are so much things. Instead of focusing on how terrible things are for us, we can focus externally. As Marie shared, she developed I'm not saying everybody here is going to develop a relationship with a squirrel in your yard, but things like that are possible. I used to have 5 chickens. I loved those chickens. I had 6 until I lost one, and then my wife gave them all away because I miss those chickens. So it's wonderful to develop relationships out with animals. They're wonderful, and they're here, you know. And people take guns and shoot them. I mean, they should shoot themselves, really. So thank you.
Well,
thank you so much for sharing.
all of these things that we take for granted are extremely valuable. A good day, a little rain when you need it, whatever it is, appreciate it. Because it's always going to be there for you, because you benefit, every single one of you, and it helps us all to feel better about ourselves. It keeps me going to do that and do it constantly. I don't always remember to, and I can work up a real great depression, and I can want to just blow my brains out. But I change my mind pretty soon when I hit reality.
That is super important. I remember when I was in a deep depression about 12 years ago with Lyme disease, just about taking my life. I had a photograph on the table of my cousin's young daughter that they adopted from China. Such a beautiful little girl. And I would just look at that photograph, and I would just pick up every molecule of that photograph and appreciate and just focus on it and be on it. So what you're sharing is so important, just to find something to focus on, to be thankful about. In fact, there's a technique that some people promote. You go in, you get a stone, a thin stone, and you put it in your pocket. And every time you reach in your pocket, you rub that stone and think of things that you have to be thankful for, to be grateful for. Being gracious is one of the first steps of getting out of misery, being gracious for what we have. It's often overlooked. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, Marie. Thank you.
Well, you can change the world by looking into the eyes of that little baby or the squirrel or whatever it is that you're looking at.
You change your world, yeah.
How big it really is, and how fortunate we are to have all those things, because they are constantly giving to us.
If we could only get that squirrel to visit Putin.
Oh, I wish. I wonder, is there anything on this earth that will penetrate that iron cast skull of his that contains so much evil?
He's, 400 or 600 years in the future from the nomads. He belongs back in the nomads of Europe, where they just robbed and pillaged town by town. Well, anyway, so thank you for sharing. Okay, Robin. Well, I think Marie really great introduction to this technique that Robin's going to go through, and we call it tapping. We've done it a few times, not very recently though, but it's a technique that you can use several times throughout the day. So Robin, take us through it. And you can look at if you're not sure exactly what she's doing, you're going to want to look at the YouTube video so you get it right and practice it. But she's got to tell you what she's got to be doing.
Okay, so we're going to start with a very gentle karate chop from one hand to the other hand, and then we're going to use our first 2 fingers on each hand, and we're going to tap on the top of our head, our forehead, on the side of our eyes, underneath our nose, our chin, and right under our neck. And we're going to tap about 6 or 7 times in each place. And I'm going to say things that are sort of like affirmations, and you can think them. You can also do this and add your own affirmations. And All right, so, and have something like water or cistus tea to drink at the end, okay, to help purge toxins out of your body. So sit up straight with feet on the floor, relax your shoulders, and take a cleansing breath. All right, so we're going to tap one hand onto the other, and we're going to say, this situation is really hard, but no matter what, I'm going to love myself in the midst of it. Now we're going to tap on the top of our head gently, and we're going to say, this really stinks and I hate it, but I am going to love myself in the midst of it. On the side of our eyes, I don't know what will happen, but I am going to trust my impulses and love myself in the midst of it. Under our eyes, I don't know what the future holds, but today I will love myself no matter what happens. Under our nose, gently tap. And this is a really hard situation, but I love and honor myself in it. On our chin, I am trusting and loving myself in the midst of a really terrible situation. And then under our neck, and then just where we just gently rub there under our neck and take a deep breath and take a drink of cistus tea or water and be thankful. Okay.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you, Robin. So tapping you can do throughout the day, several times a day, and it's a focus, focusing externally. It always helps to start the day off with a smile.
That's right.
And when you're doing the tapping, why not smile too? All right.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so that wraps up this portion of the program. I want to thank the two gals who shared, and keep coming back. We're here to support you in getting your life back so that you can say thank you, Robin, thank you, Mary, thank you, Richard, thank you, Chris, thank you, everybody that's with you guys. Because you guys have hung in there, I got my life back, and I'm a walking testament to the fact that the diet works and I can get my life back. Thank you, everybody. Love you all. Keep coming back. We're going to announce the winner as soon as we close.